Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie, with a cup of tea. Sorry about that. I had an echo. I'm not really quite sure why. And so I had to come out and start again. I'm so sorry. I hope you'll all find me again because there was quite a few of you on there chatting. Cheers. Cup of tea tonight. Cup of tea. So let me just say hello to everyone while we wait for everyone to find their way back here. Hi, Chumba. Hi, Mal. Hi, David. And I hope Tina and Mello and the other. Hey, everything's going wrong. Everything's going wrong. What is it about live streams? As soon as I do a live stream, everything goes wrong. Hi, Tina, you found us again. I hope Mello finds us as well. There was quite a few of you on here on the other live stream, but I had to come off and start another one. Anyway, I'm sure they'll find their way here. I'm sure they'll find their way back. I hope so. So tonight I'm going to talk about a case I've wanted to talk about for ages, but there's just Charlie's found us. This case I've wanted to talk about for a long time. But you know, there's always something going on. That's why, hi Jim. Jim's found his way here. Hi. I just wanted to do it tonight because before you know it, something else will come up, and of course it's Christmas, and it's very important to talk about it now because the actual trial is underway at the moment. The trial is underway, so it's important to talk about it because hopefully sometime this week there will be a verdict in this trial. Hello, Mello, you found us. Yeah, sorry about that. So yeah, it's important to talk about this case now. I mean, it's always been important to talk about it, but you know, there's something else. It's all been about Nicola Bully, hasn't it? Since there's this case, let me tell you when it happened. So Brianna Ghey was a 16-year-old transgender girl, and she was murdered brutally on the 11th of February 2023, so this year. Well, we all know that that was right in the middle of the disappearance of Nicola Bully and all that, you know, chaos that was going on then, and that seemed to be all the news that anybody wanted to talk about. So I don't think this case has had the attention that it deserves. And it deserves the attention because it's a terrible crime. Because, you know, all murders obviously are awful. You know, there's no such thing as a good murder, is there? But I think there's just something a bit especially bad. They haven't classified this as a hate crime. There's been a lot of pressure to classify it as a hate crime, but the police have never classified it as such. And I think part of the reason for that is because Brianna did know the people that killed her. You know, they weren't absolute strangers. I suppose that if they would have been absolute strangers, it would definitely have been classified as a hate crime. But to me, what else can it be? What else can it be but a hate crime? So really, Brianna was murdered probably just because she was different. And these also, in my personal opinion, the two people that killed her were jealous of her because Brianna, she was 16 and she was a TikToker. She had a very successful TikTok channel where she talked about transgender issues, and she would sing and dance and mime to music, etc. You know, and she was very bright and breezy, and people loved her channel. And she'd gone through a lot of anyone who's different in any way goes through bullying at school. So I expect Brianna got more bullying than most. Anyway, she was described as a larger-than-life character who would leave a lasting impression on anyone who met her. And she would, according to her friends, she would often help younger trans girls safely and legally access hormone replacement therapy, etc., or give advice, because at the end of the day, she had been through all that herself. So this trial started on the 27th of November. I think first, let's have a look. Right, let me just say hello to other people that are coming in. Yeah, Charlie found us, Mello found us. I'm sure I saw Mello on there. Rio's there. Hi, Rio. David. David is using his choice language. Yeah. I'm sure I just missed somebody else there, but then wrong. I'm so sorry. Please say hello to again, and I'll come back. But first thing I want to look at are some photos of. I mean, 16 years old. You know, apart from anything else, so young. And the two people, the twonks. David called themselves something else, but I'll refer to them as twonks. I'll try and be polite. Because they were only 15 years old, a boy and a girl, that have, are jointly accused of murdering Brianna, and they basically are both turning on each other, and they're both saying that the other one did it. And they're both saying that they didn't see it. They had their back to it as it was happening. So here's Brianna, typical young girl, like very attractive, lovely hair, lots of nice photos, because in this day and age, of course, one thing you can be sure of is that there will be photos of young people, Instagram, TikTok, I won't say Facebook, because I think young people don't really go on Facebook. So she's obviously a dog lover. Is a little dog, but the dog's wondering what's happened to her. Here she is with her mum. She reminds me very much, actually, of one of my nieces. She's got a similar look to her, but yeah, very, very sad, very sad. So, yeah, these two twonks that have been accused of murdering her, they're both saying it wasn't them, it was the other one. But at the end of the day, it was both of them. There's texts. These two young people, it's coming to light at the trial, are really nasty young people. And if it wasn't Brianna, it was going to be someone, because these two young people are obsessed with true crime, says she. I mean, lots of people are interested in true crime, but they were obsessed with it in a way that they wanted to do it way, not in being interested in it, in the psychology of it, and why do people do these things. They were interested in it in the way of, oh, we want to do that, we think that's great. They were obsessed with serial killers such as Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, and who was the other one? That there was another one that was cut. They had obsessions about these killers, and they wanted to kill somebody. Now let's just have a look at this video. See if I can get it to come up. This video is Brianna as she left. As she was on the bus. There is a video of her leaving home as well on the day that it happened. So she was stabbed 28 times with a hunting knife in the park. 28 times. I mean, that's a lot of hate. If that's not a hate crime, why else would you stab someone 28 times? It's an overkill, isn't it? Let's just watch that one more time. Now, apparently, while she was on that bus, I'll tell you in a moment when it finishes. Oh, I probably haven't shared it, have I? Hang on, sorry. You know, I always forget to share. Right, now. So, apparently, while she was on that bus, she texted her mum and said that she was scared. Now, I don't think she was put at hi Maria, hi Sarah. You should have seen it by now. Have you seen it now? Sorry, it's my fault. Yeah. I think you did see it then, but I'll play it one more time just in case, probably better. Just in case anyone missed it. So this is the video of her on the bus. Okay, so that was the video of her on the bus on her way to meet these, well, one of these people, definitely. Anyway, I don't know if she knew if the boy was going to be there or not, but she definitely, hi Wesley, she definitely, hi DMV, hi Heather. She definitely was off to meet the girl. Now, unfortunately, the girl was a friend of hers. I think this is why the police maybe have refrained from calling it hate crime, because a hate crime is normally when somebody does something to someone that they don't know, like just because of the way they're dressed or their colour or whatever. But I presume the only reason that they've refrained from calling it hate crime is because she did actually know this girl. They were really friends. You know, they spent time together, they hung out together, you know, so that just sort of makes it even worse, really, doesn't it? But it seems like maybe this girl was quite jealous of Brianna. In my opinion, I think she was jealous of her. Anyway, when she was on the bus that day, she texted her mum and she said, I'm scared. But it's not thought that she was scared of meeting this girl. Brianna, like a lot of young people these days, she suffered from anxiety. So she was scared. And her mum, hi Jenna, her mum said, well done, sent her a message and said, well done, because she was proud of her for getting on the bus on her own with her anxiety, etc. But that message was, well, it may have been read, but it was never, you know, when you message on WhatsApp and when somebody's read it, you get the 2 blue ticks. The 2 blue ticks never happened. But she may have read it. She may have read it. So off she went to the park. She met this girl at the park. And the girl and the boy, both aged 15 at the time, 28 times. 28 times. Now they both pled not guilty, and they're both blaming each other at the moment for it. So they're each saying that the other one did it, that they had nothing to do with it. Oh, she was on TikTok quite a lot, as I say. After she died, her TikTok account was deleted, so there's no TikTok account there anymore. By a member of the public, and emergency services were called at 3:13, and she was pronounced dead at the scene. And the cause of death, of course, was the 28 stab wounds. Now then, but there's more to this case. There's much more to, you know, as if there could be more. I mean, it's bad enough as far as we've got there. But the thing is, it looks like they actually did, or certainly the girl tried to kill her even before that. Tried to kill her on a separate occasion by giving her an overdose of ibuprofen. This is what's coming out at the trial. So the trial is. The trial started on the 27th of November, and it's hoped that the trial will be finished back before Christmas. Well, we've only got this week, really, Monday to Friday, isn't it? And then that's it, 'cause it'd be Christmas the following Monday. But that's what they're hoping for. So we'll see. So it's taken all this time to bring it to trial. Okay, now I just want to look a little bit more at the story, the background, and the trial. So apparently it was a frenzied attack. Here, this is the Irish News that I'm reading from now. So here's Brianna again. Yeah, a beautiful young girl. Anyway, two youths who deny the frenzied murder of transgender teenager Brianna Ghey cannot both be telling the truth, a court heard. So Brianna was stabbed with a hunting knife 28 times in her head, neck, chest and back in Linear Park, Culcheth, a village near Warrington, Cheshire, on the afternoon of February the 11th. And two teenagers identified only as Girl X and Boy Y, both now aged 16 but only 15 at the time, deny murder and are blaming each other for Brianna's death. And both say, funny isn't it? Funny this, both say their backs were turned when the other defendant began stabbing Brianna. I mean, is this some cooked up story they've come to between each other? You know, so they're both saying they didn't see it, their back was turned and the other person stabbed Brianna, but 28 times. So their back was turned for a long time, wasn't it? They turn your back while somebody stabs somebody 28 times. Anyway, trial judge Mrs. Justice Yip on day 15 of the trial. So, you know, this trial has been going on since the 27th of November. Personally, I don't think it's had enough media coverage. It's had minimal media coverage in my eyes for the gravity of it. Anyway, she told the jury on Friday, on the facts of the case and the evidence before you, you can't both be telling the truth. Giving legal directions to jurors after the prosecution and defence case concluded. Sorry, just having some tea. So the prosecution and defence case has concluded. Oh, so there will be a verdict maybe early in the week then. Maybe even tomorrow. I mean, I will let you know as soon as the verdict comes out. So she added, the defendants are each charged with Brianna Ghey's murder. The prosecution case is that they acted together to bring about her death and both intending that she should be killed. Each defendant says that the other defendant is the person who stabbed Brianna and was not expecting or wanting Brianna to be killed. You should approach the evidence calmly and dispassionately. You must not be influenced by any emotional reaction or sympathy for anyone involved. So this is at Manchester Crown Court. So we're in the north again here. The trial has heard both defendants had a fascination for violence, torture and murder and had planned the killing for weeks. Jurors heard that Girl internet torture and killing material from the dark web and had an interest in serial killers. How do you at 15? I wouldn't even know how to access the dark web. I don't want to access it. I wouldn't have any interest in accessing it at my advanced years. So I have no idea how a 15-year-old girl even gets into that sort of thing. Anyway, the jury was shown an alleged murder plan on how to kill Brianna, along with phone messages they exchanged, including a kill list of other children they wanted to harm. Girl X has said she enjoyed dark fantasies, but with no intention to ever turn them into reality. While Boy Y said he went along with them and did not take them seriously, they both say they never expected the other to act on them. Well, that is just such a blatant lie, isn't it? Because how did they end up there on that day? Just happened to have a knife with them. You know, of course it was planned. The judge told jurors that the next week, prosecution and defence counsel will give closing speeches and she will sum up the evidence before they retire to consider verdicts. The trial was adjourned till Monday. So that would be what would be happening. Prosecution and defence closing speeches, judges summing up, and then hopefully Tuesday or Wednesday the verdict. I mean, we have to proven guilty, but it doesn't look very good for them. Oh, exactly. 28 times. Not Heather, half when you stab someone 28 times, and all over, Paul Bill stabbed all over. So anyway, so I'm not explaining the dark web, Charlie, but somebody might explain it to you. But to be honest, I wouldn't even know how to get on it. I know it's just the dark web is like what's the word? It's like an underweb, isn't it? Where you can find all sorts of nasty things if you want to. Okay, so right now I'm going to share another article with you. Okay, so now we're in the Guardian. So the jury hears messages in which what was she called? Girl X said she'd been learning about a killer known as the Night Stalker. I did a video on the Night Stalker, Richard Ramirez, a few weeks ago. This is the problem with the internet in general, I suppose. But how can you stop that? I mean, she's 15 years old. If she hasn't got any parental controls on her internet, how can you stop them seeing these things? But would it even make, personally, I think, I've watched loads of true crime videos, etc. It hasn't made me want to go out and stab someone 28 times. I just think if that's not in you to begin with, you can't make that be in someone. Maybe in some ways, maybe it helps them to just fantasize about it and never actually do it. But this girl, she was always going to do it. She's bad. They're bad. Most people would never take that to those lengths. So a 16-year-old girl accused of murdering the teenager Brianna Ghey discussed killing her with a spiked McDonald's milkshake and said she had been researching an American series. The girl, referred to as X to protect her identity, told her co-defendant, a 16-year-old boy known as Y, that she could talk about Richard Ramirez for like 2 hours, a jury heard. The night before Brianna was stabbed to death in a Warrington park, X said she was watching her favourite film, Sweeney Todd. Now, I presume she's meaning it was Johnny Depp, was it? Was it Johnny Depp who played Sweeney Todd, the latest one? It's a horrible film, really. I mean, it's a good film, but it's very at the 9,000th time. And in messages read to the court, she urged Y to watch it, saying, "He kills people with one of the sharpest blades in the world." Now, we're going to talk a little bit about Brianna's parents, just how dignified they've been, etc. But also, I just want to say, I do feel sorry for these teenagers' parents as well, because they're having to, to know that they're terrible thing. So that's not very nice for them either. Anyway, the jury was played footage of Brianna leaving her house on the day she was murdered as she went to meet her alleged killer. So she'd arranged to meet them. This is the doorbell footage. You just want to grab her and pull her back, don't you? And say, no. She's glued to a phone. They're all young people are always glued to phone. So that's when she left her house for the last time. Off she went to meet these horrible people, and unfortunately never came home. So the teenagers deny murdering Brianna, who was transgender, in Linear Park in Culcheth near Warrington on the 11th of February this year. On the third day of the trial, Manchester Crown Court, the jury heard more messages exchanged by the pair prior to Brianna's killing. The WhatsApp messages interposed plans for killing Brianna and four other boys that they didn't like, with Y asking X for advice on how to contact a girl he fancied. God, she's had a lucky escape, that girl. They discussed killing Brianna as a fallback plan in case their plan to a boy known as E in Linear Park failed. She would be easier to kill, the teenagers agreed, according to the messages. Poor Brianna, because she's more vulnerable and she would be I don't know. I mean, how awful. She would be easier to kill. Tried to give Brianna an overdose of ibuprofen around 3 weeks before the murder, and this would be her second attempt at killing her. Y referred to Brianna as the prey who got away. They debated drugging her again, with X suggesting mixing ibuprofen into a McDonald's milkshake. They later discussed giving Brianna an overdose of cocaine before deciding it would be too expensive. Let's just stab her, it's more fun, wrote the girl. 2 weeks before the murder, the teenagers arranged to meet Brianna to go to Linear Park. But she cancelled at the last minute because of a family birthday party. X said she was fucking pissed. Brianna was a no-show, writing, I don't want to wait. I just want her to die really badly. I want to see pure horror on her face and hear her scream in pain. Oh my God, what a lovely girl. Well, I tell you what, I feel sorry for her parents reading that, knowing that their daughter, this is what they brought up. The girl then discussed keeping one of Brianna's pretty eyes after the killing, and the boy said he would research preservation methods. The court heard that on the 23rd of January, a few weeks before the killing, the defendants discussed killing a boy who Y feared was too close to a girl he fancied. X suggested kidnapping and torturing the boy before killing him. Y replied, oh, that does sound good, but it would be easier to sweep her off her feet. And then X claimed she had killed twice before, including a boy called Layden. The boy replied, you're one kill away from being a serial killer. I mean, well, I'm sure the police have investigated that. Surely she hadn't got other victims. 15 years old, talking like this. The girl then told the boy she'd been doing more and more research into a serial killer called Richard Ramirez. I know a lot. I can talk about him for like 2 hours, including quotes he said and dates of stuff too, also known as the Night Stalker. The girl claimed that her boyfriend had developed severe mental illness because she had told him about past, including the killing of Leyden. The boyfriend was proud of her, she insisted, but was now suffering from trauma and PTSD and needs to start therapy again. Y said, oh, that was good, but try not to tell anyone else. You can't believe that all this is happening, is it? Do you know what I mean? It's like all this is pure evil. All this going on, isn't it, in the world? And poor Brianna, who was a light in the world, ended up, you know, a victim of these evil twonks. Anyway, the boy was not present in court on Wednesday, but he watched proceedings via a video link. Wearing a black shirt and a grey tie, he played with what the judge told the jury was a fidget toy as he listened to the evidence, accompanied by a court intermediary. The girl listened from behind the bulletproof glass of the dock. Gosh, sorry, I'm just thinking if that was my child that she had done that to. It's a good job for her that it was bulletproof glass. Also holding a fidget toy. The experts have said that that's something that can help to maintain concentration and manage anxiety, said Mrs. Justice Amanda Yip. The court also heard evidence from Esther Ghey, Brianna's mother. We're going to have a look at Brianna's mother shortly. She said Brianna was friends with X and that they would, I mean, this is like Mean Girls in the extreme, isn't it? And they would sometimes hang around together after school and go to McDonald's. Esther described an incident in the week of the 23rd of January in which Brianna was really sick. She appeared to be in real pain and was screaming and crying for me to help her. She'd never been like that before and never since, and this was not long before she was killed. And the jury heard that this was the same week that X claimed to have given Brianna an overdose of ibuprofen. When the pair started planning to kill Brianna in Linear Park, X told Y, make sure to wear clothes and shoes you can run in just in case, the court heard. On the night before the killing, the boy was trying to get the girl's attention on text and messaged the words, death, kill, murder. She asked why he was texting her randomly and he replied, I wanted to see what word would summon you. He replied, LMAO. Fair enough. Anyway, the trial's continuing. Awful. You know, it sort of gets worse, doesn't it? Hi, Jean. Hi, Jackie with a CQ. Well, she was, they did try to poison her, but that didn't work. They tried to poison her, or that girl tried to poison her with the ibuprofen, but it didn't work. It's very difficult to kill someone or yourself with ibuprofen, because ibuprofen is a slow, it attacks your organs and it causes you a lot of pain, but it wouldn't necessarily, you know, it's not, you know, it's not a good thing. Anyway. So, right, now I want to show you a little bit of Brianna on TikTok. This is not her TikTok account because it's been taken down, but it's somebody else showing her tweets, I think.
Accused of her murder.
This is, no, that's not it.
A trans teen texted her mum that she was scared while on a bus on the way to meet the people accused of her murder, a court has heard. A jury was today shown the CCTV footage and a picture of the inside of the bus that Brianna Ghey had sent her mum in February, along with the message, I'm on the bus by myself. I'm scared. Brianna was stabbed 28 times in a park near Warrington, where she'd gone to meet the now 16-year-olds who are on trial. They've both pleaded not guilty to murder and blame each other for Brianna's death. A trans teen texted her mum that she was scared while on a bus on the way to meet the people.
The story, thought I had some. Okay, let's just have a look what the Manchester Evening News had to say. So I've just pulled up a load of articles about it. So these are the messages that went between these two revolting teenagers before they murdered Brianna. Slit throat. Right, I have to give you a little warning here because it's not very nice. Slit throat, dismember body, place pieces in bin bags. The court read teens' messages before Brianna Ghey's death. So those are the messages that they were sending to each other. Let me see if there's anything here that we don't know yet. Okay, yeah. On Tuesday morning, the jury was told about a note found by police in the bedroom of girl X. Prosecutor Brianna Ghey told the court girl X was arrested at her home on suspicion of murder at 7:30 p.m. on February the 12th. I'm just imagining where you sat at home and the doorbell rings and it's the police wanting to arrest your 15-year-old daughter on suspicion of murder. How did that, that must have been awful for those parents. After being cautioned, the jury heard she said, "Me being a suspect, is it because I'm the last person to see her?" At about the same time, boy Y was arrested on suspicion of murder at his home. "I can explain," he said after he was cautioned. Both of their mobile phones were seized by officers, the court was told. Police carried out searches at both properties, jurors heard. From girl X's bedroom, they recovered clothing which resembled the clothes that she was wearing on the CCTV footage of February the 11th. They also found a chef-aid kitchen knife. A photograph of it was found on her mobile phone, and they found a number of handwritten notes, including a plan to kill Brianna that girl X had photographed and sent to boy Y, the jury was told. The prosecutor added there was another plan to kill, found in girl X's room. It read, "Give them alcohol with sleeping pills, slit throat, dismember body, place pieces in bin bags, bury bags 7 feet underground, bones including, get her to go to Linear Park, go to the hidden spot near the bridge I usually go to. Someone jumps out and restrains her. Plan B, I kill her." And there were also notes about serial killers, including Jeffrey Dahmer, Richard Ramirez, and Harold Shipman. But both defendants deny murder. They can't get away with this, can they? I mean, this is just, it's, Would you think they'll get out though, David? Sure. Oh, it's their age, isn't it? Their age. They're just, 15. They were 15 when they committed the crime. So we'll have to see, we'll have to see. Yeah, we'll just have to see. I do think sentencing has got a bit more strict lately, but the trouble is with their age, are they going to get lightly, looked at lightly? I hope not. Anyway, let me just put that down because I've read that out to you. A few things I wanted to show you. Right, now we're going to have a look at Brianna's parents. Her mum. Let's have a look at her mum. I don't know how they cope. I honestly don't know how these parents cope when they lose a child, especially in a way, to murder. It's bad enough to an accident or to illness. But anyway, this is Esther Ghey, and this is Brianna's mum. And she recalled the moment her daughter told her, "I think I am going to die," weeks before she was allegedly murdered, after jurors were told that one of the teenagers on trial messaged the other, "These tablets I gave her might slowly be killing her." So she had been poisoning her. He thought she had been poisoning her. Bless her. Year-old was stabbed 28 times in a park. Jurors at Manchester Crown Court have heard girl X from Warrington and boy Y from Lee both deny murder. They cannot be named for legal reasons. So on the third day of the trial, a statement was read on behalf of Esther Ghey, Brianna's mother. She said she knew Brianna had previously spent time with girl X and that the pair had socialised after school. I know that she would sometimes spend time with girl X after school, she said. They would walk home together and go to Birchwood. I think they also went to McDonald's. And Ms. Ghey was asked to recall an incident in which Brianna was really sick. She said Brianna was screaming and crying for her to help her. And Miss Ghey said she has never been like that before or since. Jurors also heard of messages shared between the defendants on January the 23rd, in which girl X allegedly discussed trying to kill Brianna with an overdose. Girl X told boy Y, "You know that girl I mentioned, Brianna, I'm still trying to kill her, and the easiest way is pill overdose because people all already know she's depressed and shit." I think that's so people already know she's depressed and shit and stuff, so nobody would get sus. But for some reason she has a high tolerance. I gave her some today that should have been enough to kill her. God, I hope they take all that into account when they're sentenced. I mean, they can't possibly find them not guilty, I don't think, but who knows. But when they're sentencing, I hope they take all that into account, that they tried to kill her before. So girl X said that she didn't die, the jury heard, adding, "Brianna is still ill. Those tablets I gave her might slowly be killing her." And in her statement, Miss Ghey said she recalled an incident when Brianna, I think it was sometime the week beginning January the 23rd. It was sometime between January the 23rd and 27th. I remember coming home from work and Brianna and her sister were at home. Brianna would have been at school that day. I got home from work at about 6 p.m. She said she shouted up to Brianna in her bedroom and said hi before hearing her start screaming. And Miss Ghey said, "My initial thought was that she had self-harmed and hurt herself." So it sounds like she had self-harmed before. That's quite common, isn't it? Amongst young people that are going through problems. She said Brianna was rolling round in agony, Miss Ghey said. She was screaming in pain, saying, "I think I'm going to die." It was quite frightening. I've never seen Brianna like that. She's not a sickly child. Oh. Miss Ghey said Brianna was saying, "Don't leave me, don't leave me." She said Brianna then vomited. At first she thought Brianna might have eaten too many grapes, which caused her to be ill. She said Brianna was writhing around in pain and she considered calling for an ambulance, but after she had been sick, Brianna appeared to be much better. She added, "When the police came to my home on February the 11th and informed me that Brianna had died, most of what they said was a blur." And she told police that on February the 11th, Brianna had sent her a text saying, "I'm on the bus by myself, I'm scared." She said, "I replied, well, that's good. Kiss, kiss," as I was really proud of her. I don't think she ever saw it because it showed us being delivered, but it didn't turn blue. I think she probably did see it. I know people don't always click onto their messages, do they? They see them, but anyway, I hope she did see it, that kiss from her mum. Right, let's see, where am I now? Sorry, I'm just seeing where I've got up to with reading. I read that out. Okay. So just going to hear again from Brianna's mum and what's helping her a little bit to sort of, you know, cope. You know, she's trying to cope with this awful thing, of course. And let's see. So Esther Ghey says she has felt overwhelmed by support after her trans daughter's death and has found comfort in outdoor swimming. I don't know why they always have to keep repeating trans daughter. Why don't they just say daughter every, you know, you don't have to keep repeating the same thing over and over again. So the mother of the teenager, Brianna Ghey, says she has found solace in cold water swimming as she tries to come to terms with her daughter's brutal death. So she's going swimming. You know, I've been put off rivers and lakes and everything for life, but it's helping her with her mental health. So Esther Ghey is taking part in Saturday's Great North Swim in Windermere in the Lake District to raise money for the Mindfulness in Schools project. She said she was supporting the charity which teaches pupils how to calm their minds in the hope that its work could potentially prevent the same situation that's happened to Brianna from happening again. So in the interview, she described how training for the 1 mile swim had been cold water therapy as Brianna's death made international headlines. She said she initially wanted to hide away from the media glare, but she had been filled with love from people around the world. Oh, that's nice. 16-year-old Brianna was stabbed to death in February. 2 15-year-olds were charged with her murder and will go on. Just so this article was written before they went on trial. Brianna, an extrovert who dreamed of being TikTok famous, came out as trans when she was 14, her mother said. Esther supported the transition. It didn't bother me. It was just something that Brianna wanted to do, and I was happy. As long as she was happy, then that's all that mattered. And this is a mum and a partner. Gosh, she looks really young, but they look alike, don't they? She looks like Brianna, or Brianna looks like her. So Esther and her partner Wes took up open water swimming during the first COVID lockdown. Brianna showed no interest in the hobby. She didn't swim with us. She wasn't really into fitness when she was a teenager. I think she was just a normal teenager who would rather be on a PlayStation than in cold water. Oh, don't blame her. And then she said, Brianna was very outgoing and very confident. She was the complete opposite of me, really. I'm quite quiet. I think one of her main goals in life was to be famous, and she wanted to be TikTok famous. She just absolutely loved the attention. I remember her coming downstairs with one of her TikToks in inverted. She was absolutely over the moon with all the attention she received. Despite her extroversion, Brianna struggled with her mental health, Esther said. She praised Brianna's school, Birchwood Community High School in Warrington, for supporting her daughter when she announced that she was transitioning to become a girl. The head teacher has always been absolutely amazing. She's fantastic. Brianna's school was always really supportive to both me and Brianna, and they continue to support us even after all this. So when Brianna was killed on the 11th of February, Esther initially found the global attention difficult. She had been warned by the police liaison officer that her daughter's death would be reported in the media, but she was unprepared for the scale of public grief, particularly among the transgender community. There were lots of vigils held for her, etc. Initially, because I'm quite quiet and not the same way that Brianna was, I just wanted to hide, and I didn't want it to be in the public. But then my other daughter, Aisha, would come up to me with her phone and say, look at all these vigils that have been arranged. And I just can't think of another word to use, but I was overwhelmed. And I just felt this great, great sense of support from the community. It felt the whole world was a sort of community in a way, and it just filled me with love. Oh, that's so nice. Parents of other trans children reached out to her, as well as trans people from all over the world. The level of support from the community trans community has been overwhelming. I think it's probably hit them quite hard. Well, it will, because that's you know, anyone who's different in any way, that is what they live with every day, not really knowing, you know, if they're going to get attacked for that. And not, you know, not only trans people, anybody who's different. Brianna would have loved the attention, Esther said. I think it was absolutely beautiful how people rallied together and showed support for Brianna. And I think how she would have loved that. And I, in a way, I hope that she saw that. Yeah, I hope she can see that. So Esther is raising money for MISP, having found meditation helpful to deal with anxiety. For the past couple of years, I've been practicing mindfulness and I meditate in the morning. In the past, I've experienced mental health issues such as anxiety. And I feel that if you don't know what maybe I need to do a video on mindfulness one day, because it is very useful. Mindfulness has really, really helped me to overcome that. And I think it has put me in a very good position to be able to deal with the whole situation around Brianna's death, she said. And swimming outside had also helped her in her grief, Esther said. I found open water swimming really relaxing. I think when you've got your head under the water and you can just hear the water, hear the sounds of nature on the outside, it's really therapeutic. I suppose it's like cold water therapy. It's been quite good for my mental health. I've never been open water swimming. I don't know if I'd like it. It depends. And it'd have to be, for me, it's just all you know, are these places clean? You know, when you hear all about all the sewage being pumped into the rivers, etc., it just puts you off, doesn't it? Absolutely puts you off, because are the rivers, etc., clean? You know, that's the thing. Okay, so I think I may have one more article to show you, or maybe not. Hang on. Anyway, I wanted to bring the, you know, probably most of you maybe have heard of the case, but maybe didn't know that the trial was actually going on at the moment. And that's why I wanted to do this video, because I wanted to do it before the trial finishes. You know, and so then as soon as I know what the verdict is, well, it'll be the verdict first of all, won't it? And then it will be the verdict first of all, and then it'll be the sentencing. So I don't know if the sentencing will happen before Christmas. But the verdict should happen this week before Christmas. Then it may be the sentencing probably in January, will it be? That's all right, Charlie, don't worry, don't worry. So there you go. Very bad people. You know, I hope I don't know what the current situation is with sentencing. I don't know if there's a minimum sentence for a child, like 15-year-old. I mean, you know, I don't know. Yeah. Unfortunately, evil does span all ages, doesn't it? You don't. Oh, thank you, DMV. Yes, hit the like button if you don't mind. Unfortunately, evil does span all ages, and you know what I think? I am 100% convinced that some people, they literally are just born evil. I don't think anything will make any difference. You know, bad upbringings, abuse, etc., that people, or mental health issues. Lots of people experience all those things, but don't do things like this. So why did they? You know, it sounds like from the messages that went between them, it was planned. It wasn't in a moment of psychosis. you know, I bet you any money they're probably smoking marijuana, because at that age their brains are forming, and unfortunately marijuana is not, it's not good, especially this skunk marijuana that's around at the moment, for brains that are formulating. But then again, many young people smoke marijuana, etc., and don't go on and do things like that. So, you know, I don't know, maybe they are literally just born bad. Hi Maltese. 30 years for a life. But for a young person, though, don't bear in mind that they will be sentenced as children, because they're 16 now, but they were only 15. They were only 15 when it happened, so they'll be sentenced as children. That's what's worrying me. What is the sentence? What is the sentence going to be? You know, I just can't imagine having those sort of conversations. You know, when I was 15, we were talking about, like, could we get in a pub, you know, could we look 18 and try and get in a pub or in a nightclub, and we were talking about boys, or, you know, talking about, I don't know, we certainly weren't talking about going and stabbing somebody. So Jean says if they're 15, well, they were 15 when they did it, Jean. They're 16 now, but I presume their sentence will go on the age that they were when they did it, go into care until 18, and then social work until 21 up. Tell me they're going to be out at 21. It's just not fair. It's just not fair. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, so that is a very sad story of Brianna Ghey. Very, very sad. But I'm glad that I managed to tell the story before the end of the trial. I literally have been wanting to talk about this case for quite a long time, but it's all been a bit crazy with one thing and another. So I'm hoping now that I like to bring attention to cases like this, because this, to me, all cases are important, of course they are, but when somebody is killed just because of who they are, you know, or the way they dress, or their sexuality, or their religion, or, you know, these not, you know, it's just horrible. Hate crime is horrible. So anyway, so that's it. I will be back in the morning with an advent calendar. Rest in peace, Brianna Ghey, and I send all my love and prayers out to her family. I hope they are coping okay, and they'll be glad to just see this all over with, and hopefully a long sentence for these horrible people. So Heather, it is a sad world sometimes, but there's a lot of good things as well. And the thing is, I think what is a positive thing is we're all incensed by this case. So, you know, that's a positive thing. Most people think it's terrible. Do you know what I mean? So most people are good, but it's that 1%, isn't it? It's that 1% of bad people. But anyway. Okay, night. Have a good evening, and I'll see you tomorrow. Remember to live and love wisely, carefully. Choose your friends carefully as well. You know, poor Brianna, she thought they were her friends. Yes, Yvonne, love to all, even the lost ones. Exactly. Yeah, really, they probably need a bit of love themselves. Okay, and I'll see you tomorrow. And until I see you, thank you.